Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. It has been an interesting morning, to say the least. My morning started bright and early at 4:45 against my better judgment, but what can I say? So, I up and moving and driving and home and it's been a long morning. It has been a long morning. But that's okay. I hope everybody had a great day on today. Did some volunteer work. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Co-host. So we
Which
need to
one?
talk about your post. The one about you going to the doctor. Come on now, JoJo.
I don't know who's more frustrated, me.
What's really
I don't
up?
know who's
You
more
gotta tell
frustrated,
the
me or the
story.
doctor, cause she gave me the side eye like, why are you even talking to me, ma'am? So
Okay. Tell them the whole story because I was like, really, JoJo? That's
But
how
see,
you go to the
I
doctor?
knew the answer to my question, but I also knew my father, who passed away, had the same symptoms I had, and I wanted to make sure there was nothing extra going on with me. Good morning, Auntie. Yes, it's cold, honey. Your niece has been out there bright and early this morning.
Yes,
It's
it
cold.
is.
And so I just wanted to make sure there was nothing extra going on with me because of the symptoms he had, and he passed away from cancer. And so she was like, again, Miss Waddell. So, but
JoJo,
see,
okay.
what
Yeah, we don't have to
happened
go
was
down into
I
everything
can
that you talked to the
splurge
doctor
on
about.
food sometimes, but I can't splurge twice in a week. Like, so I had chicken nuggets on a Tuesday and French fries. I can't eat that, but I had it. And then on that Saturday, I had a girls' day and I had 2 glasses of wine. And so on that Saturday, no, it was a Sunday. And so I no, it was Saturday at 11:30. I ate, and I could not eat again until that Monday night. My stomach doesn't hurt per se, but it swells, and so it was. And I know I can only eat fruits and vegetables. I know that, but when I splurge, I can't splurge twice in a week. So,
So you gonna make me do that? I know
child,
that broadcast all over again. I'm gonna have to pull it back out because it's not working.
child,
Now, apparently, my co-host, I know that
I
she
know,
just said it. She just said it.
but
How many
listen.
times do we do that, y'all?
And
We
splurge,
know
let me tell
stuff.
you, I had a
We
rough week. I
know.
deserved it. But then on the good flip side, I lost 12 pounds because I
You are crazy, JoJo. But all right, y'all. We're gonna leave you alone, JoJo, and go on with our show this morning, y'all. But how many of us can relate to that situation? How many of us know that there are things that we can do differently that'll help our lives to be that much better? But because we want that instant gratification, that microwave society, as my
Mhm.
papa used to call it, right? We want it now. We do these things that are sometimes detrimental to us. Case in point, I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yeah, I said it, America's #1. How many of us are out there? How many of y'all listening know good and well that you don't need to be using your MasterCard this past weekend when you went out to go shopping, but you got those shoes anyway, or you got that purse anyway, or you went out to eat with those friends anyway, knowing that you didn't have to do that in that moment because we are that me generation, because we look, it's my money and I want to use it now type situation, right? How many of us said, I know a hit dog will holler, don't leave the broadcast, right?
That's right.
Right? How many of us fit that situation, and we know that there are things that we can do differently that are going to position us, right, to perform better, to do better, to live better. So what I wanted to share with you guys today, I wanted to go back and actually revisit the 7 levels of investor. And why am I revisiting the 7 level of investor? Because it's very important for many of us.
Nothing. I'm good. I'm all right.
I saw your eyes, so I was like, okay, something is going on.
Yeah.
Something must have popped up on your
I'm
screen,
okay.
or
I'm good.
what have you. All right, all right. So, guys, I don't want you to try to forget about managing your situation right now. What I need for you to do, or what I want to suggest or recommend that you do instead of trying to manage your situation, is to manage your mind around your situation. How you actually think and approach the situation in itself as far as getting things done, because it's about how we react, right, and share with others that's going to help us to get to our next level. Good morning, great morning to you, Miss Valerie, as well. So when we look at this, guys, and it's very important, and this is something my co-host talks about a lot, it's ultimately our world is shaped around the perceptions that are built up in our mind. So that's the reason that I share with you not to try to manage your situation in this moment, but to manage your mind, the way that you think about it, because the way that you see it within your mind ultimately becomes your reality, right? Case in point, there was a conversation that I was having with my little one, and we guys, you got to know, I am not a gaming person whatsoever, but my baby loves to play games. And he always wants mommy to get in there and play these games. So when he comes, he gets a game. He's like, Mommy, I want you to play the game with me. Will you come play the game with me? I'll go in there and I'll play the game and I'll say, now, you know, Malachi, you know you are going to beat me. So why do you want me to come in here and play this game? I understand. He just wants to have mommy and Malachi time, right? He wants me to play with him. But then the one time I went in there, I said, okay, I'm determined to win. I was talking much noise to my baby. Now, y'all, my baby's 8 years old. But I'm over there talking much noise just as if he was as grown as I am, playing the video game with him. And I finally beat him. And he was like, yes, Mama, you finally won. That's why I put it on easy, so you can win. I said, okay, Malachi, thank you for that, right? But what the case in point behind, you're like, well, Lynn, why are you telling this story? The purpose behind sharing that story, guys, is if you manage your mind as opposed to trying to manage the situation, you can help yourself out. You can help yourself improve your situation. So what I wanted to share too, because we've been talking about ultimately making your money, keeping your money, and growing your money. You hear me talk about that all the time. Make your money, keep your money, grow your money. So in looking at the 7 levels of investor, I want to invite you to listen in. Not only listen in, but to share this information out. If this has been informative to you, or if this is entertainment for you, make sure you share this out, because somebody needs to hear this. Good morning, Miss Margaret. Thank you for joining as well. So guys, in looking at these 7 levels of investor, this is what I want to share with you. At the 7 levels of investor, I want to go back through these. Now, this is from teaching of Robert Kiyosaki. And the reason I go back and I teach this, because I know some of us just are not going to read, right? And that's simple. It's as simple as that. Some of us are not going to read. So I am going to take it upon myself to share the information that I have gained with you, because I know some of you won't go back and read it. All right. And once I share this little tidbit with you, you're gonna be like, well, what else is out there? What else does she know? Let me go get that book so I can now, hopefully, that's my intent. I want to empower you to go and get it and read it for yourself. Just like your preacher tells you at church on Sunday. Some of us won't even go and read that for ourselves. And many of us in our churches, if they didn't put it up on the screen, we wouldn't even read the scripture. But I ain't even going there this morning. Let me get on back over here for the 7 levels of investor. All right. So in looking at the 7 levels of investor, guys, we're going to start out at what we call level 0. Let me remind you, you see where you are in this. Take a moment, think about what I'm sharing with you. Find yourself. Dare I say, you probably can think about other people who fit into each of these different situations and scenarios that I'm going to talk about in these 7 levels. But I'm going to start out at level 0. Remember, level 0 is what they call the non-existent investor, right? That non-existence. You have nothing to invest. You say to yourself, I don't make enough money to invest, so you pretty much just spend what you have and you go on about your life doing what you do. You're not thinking about saving anything. You're not thinking about investing anything. You're just trying to make it by on what you have. You are the non-existent investor. Just as simple as that, right? Hopefully, no one in this day and age is still of that mindset. However, I know that's wishful thinking because I've run into people who are of that mindset who will tell me point blank, period, don't even approach me with that, right? Because they have a set mindset, for one, they have a set thing, they have this set behavior that they're going to continue to do regardless of what I say. And that's okay. I've accepted that. I want better for you, but if you don't want better for you, then I can't do a doggone thing about that. So I'm going to keep it moving. So non-existent investors, if that's you, feel free to leave the broadcast. All right? So I'm moving on to the next level, or we'll call this level 1 because that was level 0. They were doing absolutely nothing. Level 1 investors are the borrowers. Okay. Now there are some different ways to approach this, but that borrower is basically their plan. Let's see this. Their money management plan is basically, okay, how am I going to get another credit card, or how am I going to switch? I'm going to pay the bill with this credit card this month, and then I'm going to switch that around, and I'm going to pay it over here with this credit card. And then I'm going to take all the debt, transfer the balance over here. Now, I'm not saying that there are not situations where that has to be done. I get it. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes that can be a strategy if that is your intention when you set out to set up a strategy to help you to pay off your debt. However, I'm talking about the borrower here, that level 1 investor. That's their idea of a money plan, right? Their idea of their money plan is just to get another credit card so they can keep this cycle going that they've been going through. And ultimately, it ends up putting you in a position that you continue to be in that says, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Hate to sound cliche, but it is what it is. I'm just being truthful with you. We said we have courageous confessions and conversations over here about everyday life and finance. Well, that's a courageous confession and conversation right there, right? So you have to understand and identify, if this is you, then what is it that I can do, right? Because ultimately, and I want everyone to hear this, whoever takes a moment to listen to this video, whether you're listening live or listening via the replay, everyone should work to get to the level 4 investor. And I'm going to tell you what that is once I get to it, but I'm going to go through each of these levels. See, that's the end game. That's the ultimate goal. And I should have told you that in the beginning. Everyone on this broadcast who wants to consider ways of managing your money breakthrough, who want to look at more ways to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money, you should look to putting a plan in place, and that's a long-term plan that's going to allow you to move to the level to where you become a level 4 investor. So we talked about the level 0, that's that non-existent investor. We talked about level 1, that's the borrower. That's that person that's going to just maximize and utilize the credit cards and keep playing that game over and over and over and stay within that vicious cycle. They think they solve a problem, but in actuality, you're not, right? You're continuing to stay within that same rut. The level 3 investor, guys, is what we call the passive investor. And this is where the majority of the middle class of America lives. That passive investor, and if that's you, that's just you. You are that person, you put money into your 401k plan or your retirement account at work or your IRA. You don't know anything about any of those things that you put your money into. All you know is your employer told you you needed to put some money in this, right? And it's a requirement to put money in there. So you put money is being taken out of your account, and you saying, okay, well, I see it growing a little bit, so things must be okay. I'm going to leave that to the people who know what they're doing. I'm just going to let it ride and see what happens. See, that's the passive investor right there. That's the passive investor. That's level 3, y'all. I skipped level 2. So let me backtrack for a second, because level 2 is the saver. And I forgot, I can't leave out my savers, y'all. Savers, that's mama and them, right? Who told you put your money in the bank account, or put your money in that CD over there, right? Because it's going to be a safe investment for you, because they're going to pay you interest on your money. Guess what, y'all? You are lucky to get 2% interest, and super duper lucky if you're getting 4% interest on those CDs and those savings accounts that you're putting in the traditional bank. Am I saying that there's something wrong with putting your money in in those traditional accounts? Absolutely not. Why? Because there are things that you need to have, things you must put in place, non-negotiables. You need an emergency fund. Yeah, I said it. You need an emergency fund. You need 6 to 12 months of expenses sitting in the bank account. And don't look at me sideways when I say that. You be like, girl, that's too much money. I don't know about this. Well, know about the fact that if you are or you've moved, or you were in this situation with like the government shutdown, or if you're in a situation where they've riffed at your job, they had a reduction in force, what they call it, or a layoff for layman's terms. If you're in that situation, now you can take care of your family, right? In a better situation. But you have to organize and set yourself up. See, you have to have a plan. Thank you, Angie. You have to have a plan in order to make sure that you're able to prepare and provide for your family over the long haul when things of this nature happen. But being just that saver, that level 3, that's good. That's a great start. But if we're talking about making your money, keeping your money, and growing your money, right? Then there are certain things that you need to do. You must have a plan, right? Because the plan allows you to check on things. And by checking on things, remember this, what gets checked gets done. You heard that all the time in corporate America, or on your job, or in various situations. We know that to be true. So why are you not now checking in on your finances? Why do you not now have a plan to get these things done? Why is there not a long-term plan in place for you to now get to those situations where you want to be? So remember, level 0 investor, that was your non-existent investor. You're not doing anything. You're just spending up everything you bring in, and you just good with that. The level 1 investor is the borrower. You're continuing to play this credit card game here, right? Continuing to play that credit card game and just let things fall where they may. You are content with robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you more than likely will never get out of debt if you continue to live in that situation. Let me just be real with you for one moment on that. Because, guys, ultimately what's missing is the D word. It's discipline. That is what's missing in many of our financial situations. How do I know? Because I was in that same place at one time. And I'm only sharing with you the same things, not only that I have gone through, but countless others have gone through the same things. Ultimately, it's about discipline. And I get it. You'll say, oh, yeah, I tried this out before. I went over here, I worked with this credit coach, or I went over here, I worked with that financial coach, or I went over here and I talked to that advisor, right? But I didn't get the results that I wanted. Why did you not get the results that you wanted? I'll tell you why. Because you were not consistent. It was not a non-negotiable for you. You were not disciplined in your actions around your money management. Because ultimately, guys, you got to bring something to the table too, more than just wanting somebody else to fix the problem for you. See, when you create the problem yourself, you can't just depend on somebody to always come and fix it for you, because if you allow somebody else to fix that thing for you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go right back into those same old patterns, behaviors, those same old ways, that same old spending, that same old whatever, right? You fill in the blank for you. Ultimately, it's about discipline. And if you are ready, you say, wait, Lynn, I get it. I'm on it. I'm on it now. I need assistance in getting through that. Guys, go to bit.ly, Love Finances Special, bit.ly, Love Finances Special. It'll help you so that you can now transition. Make sure you have that plan in place so that you can make those money moves that you want to make. Because ultimately, where are we trying to get, y'all? We're trying to get to the level 4 investor, right? So let me go back. Level 0 was my non-existent investor. You're not doing anything whatsoever. You're spending everything you make. Level 2, that's my borrower. You're playing that credit card game and you're playing it like nobody's business so you can make sure you pay those bills. But on the hindsight of that, those debts keep amounting in the background. And it's just becoming an overwhelming situation in many cases. That level 2 person is the saver. Yeah, you're saving money, you're saving it, but you're not getting a huge ROI, a return on your investment. Why, y'all? Because inflation is outpacing the rate of the interest that they're paying you in those bank accounts. So you need to figure out what's going to allow you to beat inflation, because you're putting your money in the bank. They're giving you 2%. Guess what? They're making 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times that amount off of your money that you're now putting into their institution. So it behooves us to make wise decisions that are going to allow us to move forward. And then that level 4 investor, y'all, level 4 investor is the long-term investor. And as I stated earlier in this broadcast, this is where this is where I highly recommend or suggest, let me use that term. I highly recommend or suggest that you work to get to the level 4 investor. Why? Because that level 4 is the long-term investor. This is the automatic investor. Yes, you have a set amount that you are going to invest, but you are also actively involved in those investments. You are actively deciding what it is that you want to do, and you have a long-term, a long-range plan that's going to ultimately help you to get to that point. And I want that for everyone. But I also understand that not everyone wants that for themselves, because we didn't do, you have to level set, right? What we talked about in the beginning. Not focusing in on your situation, but now focusing in on your mindset, how you are now thinking in regards to that situation, because ultimately what you think about becomes your reality. So you have to figure out now what is going to be the next best thing for me as I move forward through this situation. All right, guys, don't forget, go check us out. But I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yeah, I said it, America's #1. Go on over to bit.ly/love finances special. If you're ready, if you're that level 0, 1, and 2 person, get on it. You need your plan. It is a non-negotiable for you and your family if you want to achieve the outcomes that you want to achieve. I also want to mention, Miss Co-host, before I go off, don't forget, guys, Raising a Financial Genius happens today. Yes, today, 12 noon Eastern time and 8 p.m. tonight Eastern time. If you can't make it at noon time, it's your noon time lunch discussion, Raising a Financial Genius. What are the things that we need to be teaching our children that we did not learn so that they can take advantage of compound interest? Good morning, Miss Kimberly. How are you, my friend? Take advantage of compound interest. Take advantage of the time that's on their side. Take advantage of the opportunities that are there for them that many of us didn't take advantage of earlier in our lives, right? And then teach them what are the things that they need to do, guys, because that's what we're called to do. Build generational wealth and leave an inheritance for our children's children. I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yeah, I said it. Didn't mean to be too long-winded this morning, Miss Co-host, but I just had to get it out there yet again. All right,
guys. I don't know if y'all can, Lynn, I don't know if you can see my comments because I can't see them on the phone, but I can see them here. So I did post Lynn's link for her website and for the Love Finance special. So make sure that you guys check that out, because you got to start somewhere. Because if you don't start, if you never go, you'll never see. And if you don't start, you'll always be sitting exactly where you are. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go
Where you
any
are.
further. Please understand that you're not gonna go any
Okay.
further. All right. So the feel. I forgot to introduce myself. I just started talking. So when I started the show, my name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? So today, the feel of thought for the day is. So y'all know the first thing on to live past crazy, as I always tell you, that you got to stop. You absolutely have. The first thing you need to do is be quiet, and that simply means you need to stop what you're doing. Be quiet. So what does it mean to stop? So stopping simply means you're not going to participate willingly anymore in anybody else's crazy. So what does that look like on a, like, for real, in action? Because you can say stop, don't participate, ooh, don't do that. It means when somebody says something crazy to you, or they do something that they know is going to get a certain reaction from you, you stop yourself. I don't care if it's mid. So here is what I do. If somebody's saying something crazy to me, or they're doing something that hits my triggers, my points that make me angry instantaneously, this is what I do. Because my first mind is to snap. That's always going to be your first mind, right? And so what I do is, before I snap, you have to be aware of what's happening, number one. So that's one. And then here's 1.8 is that you have got to say, you know what? I'm not participating. And my kids hate when I do that. My family hates when I do it. And sometimes I want to snap so fast and so quick, and I'm in the presence of the mind and say, hey, don't do that. I don't even talk anymore. I just be quiet. And I'm okay with uncomfortable silence. And I don't say anything because I'm not participating. And oftentimes it will make the other person more aware of what they're saying, and they will change the conversation, or they will change what they're saying. But I stop participating. And if we're in mid conversation and I'm getting ready to say something really smart back, I will physically open up my mouth because I'm human. Like, I'm getting ready to get you all the way told. But mid sentence, I will catch myself and I just draw back. And I just be quiet and I stop talking. I may continue the words in my head. Please understand, I'm not that good. I may continue the words in my head, but they do not come out of my mouth. And so I have learned to smile and not participate with my face nor my mouth in anybody else's crazy. I'm just saying, you can't participate.
Okay, you better than me because my facial expressions give me away.
I've learned to control my face. I've learned to, because here's the thing. If I say I'm not going to participate, if I get silent, if I stop talking, and I still got that attitude on my face, they are still going to continue to try to push my buttons. And oftentimes I walk away. I take a deep breath, or, I'll do something that I know that will calm the inner me down so I don't participate in that crazy. Because what I'll find is I'm going to get caught up with you. And then before you know, we both full blown crazy.
Right.
And I can't get that part. I can't be a part of that. And then stop also means I'm not going to create the crazy. Meaning, and this is where it comes in, where I check myself. If I see something, again, even if they're not bringing it to me, I see something that's irritating me about somebody, because we all have something that irritates us that another person does. I check myself and I say, you know what? The old JoJo would go over there and say, excuse me, that's all wrong. You're not doing it right. Let me show you how to do it the correct way. The new JoJo says, not your business. They didn't ask you for that. Mind all of your business. And that keeps me from going crazy in here as well as with my mouth, because then it's going to start a conversation that nobody ever wanted. Why am I over in your business telling you what you doing wrong when they was happily doing it themselves? Of course, that comes with the caveat of it depends on what it is and why they doing it, and that you're doing wrong. Now, if you're doing something ignorant that's just off the charts, and I know that you're gonna hurt yourself or somebody else in the process, then I'm gonna interject my busybodiness self into that. Otherwise, please leave your crazy over there in your little box, and I'm gonna keep my crazy over here in my little box. But you've got to stop. So that's what it means to stop. You got to stop participating. Don't willingly get involved. Leave it alone, and then you've got to release it. So a lot of times when I say stop, I'm not getting involved, I'm not participating, I've closed my mouth, I've been silent, the conversation's still going on in my head, because I can still get mad in my head even though I'm not talking to the person who has made me crazy. Because I can get 10,000 mad at you and you have no idea why. It's because I've carried on a conversation in my head about what you said, then what I said, and this is going to be my comeback. And I wish she would, because then this is what I'm going to say. And if she say that, then I got something just for that. And I done put a whole play in my head. I got a whole dramatization movie lifetime going on in my head, even though I've said I've stopped participating, it's still going on in here. So then that's when I have to physically release it. I mentally release it in my head and say, you know what? You were quiet. You didn't engage in that crazy. So now can you please release it in your mind? And that's when I'm a fan of deep breathing. I do my deep breath and I say, you know what? Not my monkey, not my show. And I let it go. And immediately I put another thought in my head so that I don't continue to think on that thing. I don't care if, oh, look at that little bluebird. I ain't seen a bluebird in a long time. Whatever I got to do to get my mind off of that crazy, that's what I do. And I tell you, I picked up that habit with my first husband when he would talk crazy, and I would count the ceiling tiles and multiply by 13 and roll it. I would divert my mind to keep from accepting his crazy. I do the same. It's the same steps. Now I stop participating. I don't get involved. I release it, and I immediately replace that crazy thought with something else. Because if not, you're gonna be 38 hot, and the other person's not gonna know why. And see, they're a-okay with what they're saying and what they're doing. It is you, my friend, that has the problem, and so there's no need for me to continue to participate if I say I'm going to let it go. So that's what it means to stop the crazy, guys. We got to stop it. You got to stop participating. I don't care. And let me tell you how you will feel when you stop participating mid-sentence. When I stop participating mid-sentence, first of all, you're going to be crazy because you're going to feel crazy. You're going to be like, man, but JoJo, that was a good comeback, girl. God, that was a good one. You could have shut them down with that one. And then you be like, I know, girl, but let's not participate in that crazy. But they brought the crazy to me first. And you're going to have a whole full-blown conversation with yourself once you stop mid-sentence. And that's okay, too. The point is that you're stopping it. And eventually, this is what will happen. After you keep doing that and stopping yourself from participating in the crazy or volunteering yourself to be inside of it, you recognize it before it comes along. Right. And you don't have to stop yourself mid-sentence anymore. What you'll do is you'll do a U-turn and avoid the situation and the person altogether, because you've gotten better at recognizing it and knowing that you don't have to participate in it willingly. Now, please understand, some people are crazy and they are enjoying themselves inside of crazy. Please understand. They like it, they love it, and they want some more of it. They love,
And some people just have to
I mean, they do. And like I said, there are caveats to that. Sometimes you've got to tell a person, but you got to weigh that out. Is it really worth telling them? And it depends in this situation. So it depends on your situation, how you really feel. Like, do they really deserve to be told that? Like what? And I told this to the girls the other day. We talked about this. They was like, but mama, you could have said so-and-so. Yes, I could have. But would I've gotten the result that I wanted if I would have told them how I felt? Would the result have been the same, or would it been different? Would it caused another situation, another escalation that would have went somewhere else? Or because I stopped participating, did I ultimately get the result that I wanted? Now, I may not have cussed or yelled or screamed or argued or told them off like I wanted to do within my soul, but I got the result that I was wanting. And so I think it's situational. You have to weigh that thing out, but you got to stop participating, because what you'll find is it's gonna, what's the word I want to use? It's gonna, I don't know what's the, I'm gonna think of a word in a minute, but it's gonna make you want to keep going more and more, because you're gonna have to continue to make your point, because you're never gonna be satisfied without making your point. At least for me, I gotta make my point 10,000 times, and I want to make sure that you understand my point times a trillion. And if I have to keep repeating my point so you get my point, that's what I'll do. And then by that time, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I got fingers pointing, my neck is rolling, and then I'm clapping, and then it's a whole situation for me. So, honey, so I choose not to participate altogether. But Lynn is right. Sometimes some folk need to be told, but it is all situational. It depends on what it is, who it is, and what's the end result going to be. Because sometimes, you just got to get with somebody so that they understand. And then when you get with them, as my grandpa used to say, and when you get with them, please make sure that you release it. After I done got with somebody and I done said my piece, and I think that's the final step, and most important is you got to release it. You can't hold on to it. After I done told you my piece, I'm gonna take my deep breath and I'm gonna let it go, and I'm not gonna pick it back up again. And I always end my conversation with, can we please make sure we have spoken all of our piece, so that we do not convene back with the same conversation tomorrow, in a couple of hours, next week, next year. So I'm releasing it so that I'm not picking it up anymore past that. So that is the Fearless Thought for today, guys. What it means to stop participating. Don't willingly become engaged in it, and then release it. After you have done that, release it. Let it go. Some people
let it go.
They just want to be, some people, y'all, they want to be crazy. They enjoy it. It is their best friend. And there's no amount of common sense theory, no amount of fact talking that's going to change their mind. It will not. They will not, and you shall not, because you will go crazy with them. I'm a firm believer in that. And like I said, sometimes that means stopping yourself in mid-sentence. That means taking a breath. That means walking away. That means going outside. Whatever you got to do, stop participating. Stop playing. Look, stop playing with the crazy folk, because that's what they want. They want you to come out and play with them. And they know every button to press. They know all the buttons to press to get you to participate. They know what to say. I had a friend who could get me angry in less than 1 second. All they could do was breathe wrong, and I was 38 hot. So they know your triggers, know what sets you off. And you can't use for an excuse. Sometimes it'll make me feel better. No, it will not. You will not feel better, because there's not enough of telling them that's going to make you feel better, because they're never going to understand. But all right, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. That is the Fearless Thought for today. Guys, thank you so much for joining. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, do not forget we are on YouTube. We have over 300 shows over on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to post it here. And so they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. They are by topic and by title, so they can watch whatever they want to watch over there on the Fearless Morning Show, because that's where it's at. Let me mute this as I share it, so that you don't hear me and Lynn talking. How about that? All right, guys. Anything else, Lynn, before I go? Let me post this over.
Oh, guys, well, we hope that you have a terrific Tuesday. Take Action Tuesday. Don't forget about those 7 levels of investor. Find out where you are. Take some onus. Discipline yourself. Get a plan and get it done. Go to bit.ly/love finances special. If you say, Lynn, I'm in those levels 0, 1, and 2, and I need to move because I'm ready to be a level 4, Then get it done, y'all. bit.ly/love finances special. Ultimately, it's up to you how you decide to move. Because when I move, you
Just
move.
saying.
Just like that.
I'm just saying, make sure. All right, guys. So the Phyllis thought for the day is, what does it mean to stop? It simply means you stop participating. You stop creating the crazy that you're trying to get involved in. And then when you do that, please release yourself from any further obligation of that crazy.
Yes.
Please do that. That's what it means to stop.
Okay.
That's one of the first steps to live past crazy, is you got to stop. But that also means stop participating. If that means you stick a piece of candy, a piece of food in your mouth so that you can't say nothing, that means you walk away, take a deep breath, handle that, and then you can do all the self-talk in your head. But once you finish that, also please release that too. So don't hold on to it, because when you hold on to it, it manifests, y'all, inside your body. Migraines, shoulder pain, headaches, backache. It manifests some other way. Anger is a powerful thing. Crazy is a powerful thing. So just let it go. Make sure that you go over to livepastcrazy.com and sign up for our newsletter so that you can stay in touch with everything that we have going on over here, because we have a lot going on. And thank you so much. Please make sure you share the video, because sharing is caring. It's my firm belief that if we can change one person who can change their family, who will go out and inspire their community, we will change the world. I'm positive of that. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. It is Take Action Tuesday. Stop participating today. That's your action for today.
And that's right. And don't forget to ACT 2019, Action Centered Transformation, y'all.
And that's our hashtag for the year, ACT 2019. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning at 7:15. Have a good one.